To support this podcast, go to positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amount is appreciated. Once again, positivesarcasm.com/donate. Thank you and enjoy the program. Jay here, positivesarcasm.com, recorded here from the new and improved in some ways, spare parts studio alongside New Hampshire's beautiful seacoast for entertainment purposes only. Like, subscribe, share. Welcome back. Like, subscribe, share. Here we're off to the races. Like, subscribe, share, donate. Positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amounts appreciated. You can hit me up on Instagram, now public, at @positivesarcasm, at @positive_sarcasm. I'm a little rusty. At @positive_sarcasm. You can hit me up on my website, positivesarcasm.com. If you can contact me there directly, questions, concerns, comments, you can email me directly, positivesarcasm@outlook.com, for all your, if you just want to do that. Okay, a reintroduction here to the podcast. It has been a solid month since I have donned my stupid face on the World Wide Web, and that's fine because technically the spare parts studio has undergone major renovations. Visually, not much has changed. You can see there's a wine bottle that's upside down. There's a new monitor, but technically we are running on a completely brand new computer platform. Completely brand new, and I spent the last 2 weeks testing the mixer, the microphones, lining everything up to make sure it's exactly where I want it, whether or not I did want to monitor my headphones with my own voice or not. And ultimately, I came to a consensus of what should work and what will work, and here we are. Fully functional, everything the way I need it to be, and we're good. And first of all, the capabilities of the new system is double the video, double the microphones, 4 times as much horsepower, and we are here. So, and it is much more cleaned up. There's not a bunch of extra dongles and hubs and this, that, and the other thing. It's one computer doing it all, no problems whatsoever. And once again, since this is a spare parts studio, building spare empires out of spare parts, we're good. So I'm going to do the new show. It's going to be soft introduction, not going to be a hard. There's no guests in this episode. There's nothing really to tangibly, wave over here, get some clicks. Nope, we're going to start nice and soft. Like it's late. I just went to the gym. My legs are beat, which means my brain is screwed. Anyways. If you're new to this channel, go ahead and check out a few episodes. The one near the top, you get a better idea of what I'm like up and down. You can find me on YouTube at Positive Sarcasm. You can find me on Rumble at Positive Sarcasm, and of course, you can download and stream the audio version of this podcast directly from my website, positivesarcasm.com. And of course, if you are like a Spotify fan, an iHeartRadio fan, an Apple Podcast fan, or you use some special app to download your podcasts, you can find me on any of those. Just look for Positive Sarcasm Podcast and look for the black hole symbol. And then there you are. So, what's this first episode of the year all about? Well, to quite put it frankly, I bought something. Do I buy things all the time? Yes. Well, it depends on what it is. Sometimes it's a pair of pants from the secondhand store. But this time I actually bought something. It's a piece of real estate, but not a physical piece of real estate. See, I am an investor. I do own silver. I do own gold. I do own Hewlett-Packard. I do own multiple stocks, and I own a piece of WeFunder. I own a piece of Clear Value Tax on YouTube. I own, pieces of a little bit here and there. I'm an optimist like that. I want to have my hands in some things in case life takes off. But I bought something else. Excuse me. So, what did I buy? Well, bought a piece of digital real estate. Let's call it that. And to give you a better idea of what I bought, well, let's dive into it with a proper description of exactly what it is. So, if you guys will just enlighten me for a few minutes, I will happily share with you right now, Positive Sarcasm exclusive, what I bought.
One or two.
Mum, do I like mushrooms?
Elbows.
Billy!
I'll have them.
Faggots.
Ken?
Oops.
I'm the only one who's got it.
Billy!
Look, Katie, a big ape. Hey, my faggot!
Who's a big ape?
Billy, you've got 5 seconds.
Mum, this one looks like Uncle Roy.
Get on with your meal.
Mr. Brain's Faggots. A great meal all round.
Faggots. Who would have thought? I mean, it's a classic British staple. If you have never heard of faggots on a dish before, I am right here to tell you now exactly what it is. I'm going to explain to you in vivid detail what I'm referring to. So, faggots and peas, traditional British dish. Tradition is everything. Without tradition, what else are you going to do? It's especially associated with the West Midlands, Black Country, and South Wales. This dish consists of meatballs. Everybody loves meatballs, made from minced pork offal, such as liver, heart, and belly, mixed with onions, breadcrumbs, herbs like sage, and sometimes wrapped in caul fat, a lacy membrane from the pig's abdomen, before being baked or simmered. The faggots are served in a rich onion gravy, traditionally accompanied by mushy peas, often marrow fat or pays in the Black Country dialect, mashed potatoes or chips. The dish originated as a frugal, resourceful way to use up less desirable parts of the pig, becoming especially popular during World War II rationing. While its popularity has declined, it remains a nostalgic comfort food and is experiencing a quiet revival through the nose-to-tail eating movement. Variations exist across regions, such as Welsh faggots, and modern interpretations appear in restaurants, often reimagined with sustainable or local ingredients. Key features: faggots, minced offal, liver, heart, belly, onions, breadcrumbs, herbs wrapped in caul fat or bacon. Gravy, rich onion-based thickening with flour. That's actually very easy to do. Peas, typically mushy marrow fat peas or garden peas. Serving, often with mashed potatoes, chips, also known as fries, or bread soaked to soak up the gravy. Regional notes. In the Black Country, it's often commonly called faggots and pays. Pays equal mushy peas. In South Wales, faggots are often served with bigga, B-I-G-G-A, marrow fat peas, and a thick, dark gravy. The term faggot comes from the modern English word for a bundle, reflecting how a mixture is shaped and wrapped. The dish is deeply tied to working class history, resilience, and regional identity, both symbolizing frugality and culinary pride. So, what does that have to do with what I bought? Well, I figured, let me go see, since this is a staple of British culture that is making a quiet resurgence, let's see if there's something I can do with it. And I did. Now, if you guys know, if you wanted to ever know what it was like to buy a domain. So, for example, buying a domain. To buy a domain, which is basically like www.microsoft.com or, Microsoft.com or Coca-Cola.com. You start by using a domain search tool like Instant Domain Search or Namecheap, or also GoDaddy. For anybody who's never been at GoDaddy.com, you buy a domain there. You check the availability, like a piece of real estate, internet real estate. And these tools, these websites will show you real-time results across various top-level domains like .com, .net, or .niche extensions like .ai, .shop, .whatever. And you search for a desired name. Like, for example, back in the day, I wanted positivesarcasm.com, and I have it on an auto-renewal. So every year, my domain, which is not GoDaddy, by the way, it's not any of those that I named, automatically renews. And obviously, it's like owning real estate. If you buy real estate, you pay taxes on it. I pay my tax on my digital real estate, my digital domain. So when you type it in, it forwards over to the website. That's digital real estate. So I also continue to own PS Creative Media. I also own pbandjoey.com. So I own these. These are mine. Okay. could you want to, if you wanted to buy them, first of all, one of them is never for sale. But you ultimately go there, you buy them, and now you own them. Now, why would you buy them? First off, you'd want to buy them because maybe you're going to build a site around it. Maybe you're going to, maybe you think it's a good name to forward to, like, you buy this and it forwards over to your website. Or you buy it because you think it's going to have value. Like anything else, you buy it because you think its value as a domain is going to go up. And then if a company comes out of nowhere, like, for example, if you've never heard of SoundHound AI, it's a stock you can buy that's actually quite desirable right now that has some real promise in the future. Let's say SoundHound.ai or SoundHound.com or SoundHound.ai was available and you wanted to buy it. And maybe it was going to be worth, you thought it was going to be worth something in 10, 15 years. Well, you could do that and you would own it. And then there would be some legal things that could happen for you to maybe get some monetary compensation out of it. So this is one thing you can do for whatever reason, or you just want to buy something. Like I tried to buy, like everybody's heard of DoorDash. DoorDash is obviously, you buy food at a restaurant, you pay somebody to bring it to you. Well, I thought it would be a funny idea to buy DoorHash. Obviously somebody brings weed to your door, but unfortunately it was taken. So I thought I officially am now the owner. I am officially bought and paid for the owner of faggotsandpeas.com. I own it. And I'm going to forward it to my website. So if anybody in the future, whether it be near or distant, decides they want to buy this website from me, I will quietly entertain offers. I will not boast about it, but if you decide that you actually want to purchase this from me, and I'm probably going to purchase andpeas.com, feel free to do so. So yeah, I am the owner of faggotsandpeas.com. I'll be paying taxes on that. What I do with it is my choice. I'm just curious. I didn't even know how many hits that domain has. I just decided to buy it. Because let's just say Faggots and Peas has a resurgence in Great Britain, becomes a major staple in these restaurants, and all of a sudden somebody wants to start like a recipe website for this, and it's like, oh, well, you want to buy those? Okay, well, come see me and we can talk about it. So now, all kidding aside, being ahead of the game, this is one of those things that it can start as a joke, but it can be rather valuable. Now, there is some there's some legend behind this next one that I want to talk about here, where if your company is lazy and for some reason you lose, maybe you don't renew your trademark, you don't renew your website, these things can be up for grabs if you're not careful. So for example, let's just say let's pick something here. Disney.com. Let's pick Disney.com. Let's say for some reason, generally there's a lot of lawyers and things like that around, and legal teams and accounting firms, whatever, to make sure that mistakes like this don't happen. But we all know in the land of corporate, mistakes do happen. Let's just say Pfizer. Pfizer hasn't been in the news lately at all. Let's say Pfizer for some reason forgot to, renew their website domain. And all of a sudden, Pfizer.com, which is Pfizer.com, just in case, became available. Let's just say for one day that somebody forgot, it didn't renew for some reason due to an accounting error, or maybe the accounting secretary was out to lunch and for some reason she missed this, and Pfizer.com all of a sudden ended up on GoDaddy. Now, would it end up on GoDaddy? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Would it probably come up as buy it for like $19.99? Probably not. There'd probably be an automatic trigger. But let's just say it did come up. Would you buy it? Even though you're not Pfizer, would you buy it? Of course you would. Even if it was $1,000, you'd buy it. Because you now own the domain. So if anybody who goes to Pfizer.com it'll continue to go. Even though the domain is not renewed for Pfizer.com, it could still go there because of domain forwarding. If you change that domain forwarding, you now have complete control of that website, of that domain. So if you decide you want Pfizer.com to go to Moderna.com, or you want it to go to the NHIS website, or you want it to go to OnlyFans, you can do that. You can direct it to go to that site. That's called web forwarding. And yes, this is legal. As long as the thing that you're forwarding it to is legal, you can do that. You can do that. And maybe Pfizer's argument is this is a misleading. It's like, first of all, I bought it. It's my property. I can do what I want with it. Simple as that. Like, for example, there's whitehouse.gov, and then there was, back in the day, whitehouse.com. And apparently, whitehouse.com led to a very, let's say, sketchy place that may or may not have had anything to do with the White House or with politics. Or maybe it did, but in some weird manner. But it's your website. You can do what you want with it. There's no HOA. As long as you're not doing anything illegal with it, it's your property, and you can forward it to anywhere you want. Now, would Pfizer want to possibly retain that domain back? I would assume it would, because it would be, even if you didn't forward it anywhere, it would be very publicly embarrassing that for some reason their ability to renew their own name on the internet fell through the cracks, and the shareholders. Remember, these stock prices are not cheap. Not cheap. We're talking hundreds of dollars a share to buy to buy a stock, one share of Pfizer. If something like this, a mistake like this can happen, it can be very damaging to the stock value, because people will be like, well, if they're that stupid to let that fall by the wayside, what other dumb things are they capable of doing? I couldn't imagine Pfizer being that stupid or that irresponsible. I just can't conceive it. So if something like that became available, even if it's not, ultimately, how much would they pay to get it back? You could almost name your price. Now, if you wanted to get out of it quickly and painlessly, saying, listen, I will quietly sell this back to you. What is your goal at this point? Your goal is just to retire. And this is a place that has plenty of money. You go and get yourself a property attorney. Property attorneys are used a lot in divorce cases. They're used in legal disputes among homes or illegal entry or anything like that. Property attorney. You go ahead and get yourself a nice property attorney. They'll negotiate their cut of working out this deal to sell this thing back, and making sure that you have there's nothing that can be used against you. Like, don't do this, don't do that, and we'll go this route. And then here's from my time, my rates. And you go, okay, this is your cut. And then the property attorney says, okay, well, he's more than happy to come to the table here. And what is your proposal? Now, depending upon the damage that you saying something about you owning this, or the damage, or ultimately where this website ends up getting forwarded to, there's a lot that is at stake here. And we're talking millions, multiple millions, if not billions of dollars here that is at stake. So, what would be your cut? Ultimately, your goal is to retire. That could be $5 million, $10 million, $20 million, depending upon the value of the company. Obviously, if it's Faggots and Peas, you're probably not going to get $10 million unless Faggots and Peas all of a sudden becomes like a K-pop band and takes over the world. In that case, I might be in a position to negotiate. But for now, it's merely just for fun. But I do own it. And by doing that, it gives me all kinds of other ideas to explore later on after this podcast is over. So that being said, this is something that if you have a few dollars that you can spend every single year to kind of get these things under your belt, just like buying stock. It's another thing that you're investing in, and you're just doing a little internet research. That's all you're doing. Just a little internet research, just seeing what else is out there, being like, that might be a good idea. I should maybe hang on to that for now. And just building yourself a little domain real estate portfolio. That's all you're doing. Very harmless. Merely just because you like the name. You don't have to tell anybody why you bought it. You can just say, I like it. It was available, so I bought it. That's it. Just like buying a pair of pants. Just like buying a stock, like GameStop. Just like buying a watch, or, like I said, some clothing or a car, or, I like it. It was available, so I bought it. That's it. But it can be important. It can be important that you pay attention to these little trends because, let's face it, companies do make mistakes. There's a legend around that, specifically with a drink called Sierra Mist. And I just want to, now whether this is true or not remains to be seen. But this is from April 16th of 2025. Sierra Mist, why it was continued. Anybody who knows Sierra Mist, if you don't know what Sierra Mist, it tasted a lot like Sprite. It was that lemon lime. But ultimately, Sprite is owned by Coca-Cola, I believe. Whereas Sierra Mist was owned by Pepsi or PepsiCo. So I'll just get to this article. If you're a fan of lemon lime soda, whether as a drink or as a marinade or a meat, you're well likely aware that Sierra Mist has vanished from stores and restaurants in recent years. Unfortunately, the reason for the product's disappearance came as a result of the drink being discontinued in January of 2023, never to be seen again. As for the reasons behind the drink's discontinuation, the topic continues to be debated. While some have contested that legal disputes between TikToker Sierra Mist, spelled with a C, Sierra Mist, and PepsiCo over the name were what led to the Sierra Mist's demise, it's far more likely that it was due to low sales of the drink by the end of its run. Sierra Mist was first released in '99, became quite popular throughout the 2000s, even outranking 7-Up as the second most popular lemon lime soda behind Sprite for a short period of time. However, the drink struggled to maintain its popularity in the 2010s and 20s, having a market share of merely 0.1% within the soda world. Thus, the executives at PepsiCo believe that both the marketing and the drink's formula needed an update. Sierra Mist discontinuation coincided with the introduction of its replacement, Starry, which remains PepsiCo's only lemon lime soda offering to this day. Despite many consumers believing that Starry is simply a rebrand for Sierra Mist with no real difference in the contents of the bottle, this isn't actually the case. Now, to clarify, Sierra Mist formula, most notably the sweetener it included, was modified several times over its 24-year run on the market. This includes the product's names as Sierra Mist Natural, a name meant to signify its use of natural sweeteners, starting in 2010 and ending in 2013. Then, when they began once again using high fructose corn syrup in 2015, the name Mist Twist was given to the product until 2018, when it went back to the original name yet again. The creation of Starry is frankly quite similar to other revamps of Sierra Mist, as it once again signifies a change in the sweetener PepsiCo uses in its flagship lemon lime soda. The later versions of Sierra Mist featured cane sugar, but Starry saw a return to high fructose corn syrup, which isn't inherently worse cane sugar, and add an increased amount of citric acid in its formula. In practice, this has given Starry a less pronounced sweetness, which is balanced and more sour profile compared to its later versions. You'll have to go and try one out for yourself to see a difference. Now, that was one of the things. So that there was ultimately, I've seen a few names and tenant statements have been in lead lawsuit, and that's why they renamed it Starry. So ultimately, the controversy was that supposedly they lost their copyright. They lost their trademark. Now, they did not, PepsiCo has not lost the Sierra Mist trademark. The claim that trademark expired or was lost to TikTok creator Sierra Mist is false, as it claims. Multiple fact checks and trademark databases, including the USPTO, confirm that PepsiCo still owns it, even though the product was discontinued. Trademarks, so this is the thing, is a lot of these things do not automatically expire when a product is discontinued. So these are things to take into account. You will be notified ahead of time if something is to expire. If you have a good legal team, you're going to be notified that you're about to expire or you need to renew or something like that, because you don't want these mistakes to happen. These mistakes could be the death of a company, a death of a brand. But ultimately, in this case, there are things to take into it. Now, let's just say this Sierra Mist person named herself Sierra Mist. Well, Sierra Mist or PepsiCo could send her a cease and desist. But let's just say it was the other way around. Let's say they, for some reason, did not automatically renew their trademark, or lost the rights to their domain because they didn't renew it. And she picked it up, but she kept her name as Sierra Mist. And she bought the name. Like, her name on TikTok is Sierra Mist with a C, and she owns the website Sierra Mist with an S. Even though she doesn't own the trademark, it can get into some very muddy waters. And quite frankly, she can do what she wants with that website. Or not with the website, with the domain. But another thing is if there's a website for sierramist.com and she gets her hands on the website, the domain sierramist.com, she can redirect it, which means that website Sierra Mist, you can't type it in and go there anymore. It now goes to her TikTok account or whatever she wants, and it goes away from her. So there's the loss of traffic to that website because the domain has been shut off or redirected. You're talking about a lot of money that it could be at stake here. So they can send her a cease and desist and be aggressive, but at the end of the day, she owns it and she has no legal obligation to give it back. It was available, she bought it legally, and that's the end of it. Now, obviously, the myth is that she got hands on the trademark, but no, apparently they still own it. But the thing is that getting your hands on a trademark is not easy. But getting your hands on a website, a name for a website, a domain, is. A lot of them are obviously taken, but you have to do your research. You have to spend a few minutes a day, write down some ideas. If you come up with a stupid name, write it down on a piece of paper. You write it down on a piece of paper and go, that'd be a funny name for a website, or that'd be an interesting name for a website, or that's actually going to be something that's in demand in the future. You never know. You never know. You never know what Kanye West is going to be up to nowadays. And then the next thing you know, he's got this thing that's coming out, and you all of a sudden have the website for it. You never know how quickly things shift. And for a few extra bucks out of your pocket, you could be sitting on a gold mine. But it's just like taking notes. You write in your journal, you do your weekly or daily notes. If you want to do something, it's just write down a bunch of names that you think would be interesting for a website. And then just write them all down. And then when you get some time, each week or each day, go on one of these domain holders and and type them all in. And see if any of them pop up. And if some of them do pop up, how much do they cost? And what do you think the ultimate return is going to be, if anything? Now, don't get me wrong, though. You're going to buy that website. Let's say you pay, I don't know, $20 for this website. Remember, every year you're going to pay a, quote, tax or a renewal fee through that domain holder to keep that. Because if you don't pay your $20 or whatever it costs to renew it, you're going to lose it. It's going to go away. But it will let you know that you're going to lose it. It'll give you a notice ahead of time, and then it will probably give you like a 10-day grace period afterwards. But it'll let you know before ultimately stripping you of it. And like I said, you don't have to forward it to anything. You could just forward it to a landing page that has nothing. Or you could just buy it and own it. And that's it. And then maybe it's just like owning a piece of land that you don't develop. It's undeveloped land. It's undeveloped property. You're just like, yeah, I own that. See that mountain right there? Yeah, I own that whole part right there. What are you going to do with it? Nothing. I just like to own it. Or maybe some land developer will come by one day and go, you own that whole area between that gas station and that part right there, and that goes with that little slope? Oh, okay. Yeah, I need Yeah, I need to run cable because the Walmart that's going up over there needs to have fiber optic and gas pipes run through this area. Oh yeah? Oh yeah? You want to run gas pipes through there, huh? Oh, okay. You want to run fiber optic cable and other things through there? Oh, so you need that little half-acre property between the gas station and the Johnny Rockets right there. Oh, so you need that. You need that half acre. Okay. All right, cool. Show me your wallet. Show me your wallet. You don't have to do anything with that land other than sit on there and pay taxes sometimes. This is a cheap idea of real estate. This is not like buying a fungible token, or not a fungible token. What are those fucking EFTs or whatever, those stupid digital art things? Those are dumb. But owning a domain, there could be value in that. Now, existing possibilities and new possibilities is something that you could do. Now, I'm not asking you to trip over $100 bills in order to pick up pennies. But if you've got a few minutes of your day and you've got a couple names in your head or thoughts in your head, write them down. And then go online and see if those are researchable. Or if those are searchable, or if those are purchasable. And then go from there. These are little things that you can be doing. Now, I'm not saying they turn into anything. Like, faggots and peas may not turn into anything. But I do own it. And because I own it, I had something to talk about on the very first podcast of 2026 in my newly renovated, technically, spare parts studios. So, there you go. For very little money, I got an episode out of it, and I'm pretty happy about that. Not much, but I did buy something. I was honest. It was true. I bought something. And there you go. I wanted to share it with you. So what did I do to the studio ultimately? I'll close up shop here. So my main viewpoint is the same. My main camera is the same. Okay. So there's that. Main camera is completely the same. But I added a second camera that points right at my guest chair. Okay, so in case I ever have a guest or somebody stops by or Chase decides he's going to sleep in that chair, there you go. I can do the Chase cam. So he's there. I also did at the bottom right-hand side of that second screen, you can see some swirling lights. That is the brand new Spare Parts podcast computer that is running everything, including these two monitors. The one that you can't see, which is just out of view, and the one that you can see, which is right in front of me. Now, how much did any of this cost? Nothing. Then my sister gave me this wine holder thingy, and then I took the label off that, put the PS logo on there, and I made a nice piece of artwork out of it. So there we go. Just nice little updates here. Might get some new ambient lighting, but I took what I had and what I had access to, and I expanded it. And the old mixer, the original mixer from 2014, when this podcast first started, is back in action, and it is running the second mic. So it is back. It has been toggled. It is now working perfectly. So I don't have to do anything other than when I walk in here, I hit the surge protector button. The TV monitor pops on automatically. I turn on the camera, and I walk over here. I turn on a couple lights, and I hit the power button on the computer. And within 2 minutes, we're up and running. So it's good to be back, but actually have some updates here. Very affordable. It actually cost me, I'd say, $20 to update this studio. Everything else was stuff I already had available to me. So there you have it. We're back. I bought faggotsandpeas.com. I updated the spare parts studio. It is a beautiful evening. It's supposed to be getting about, I think 3 to 8 inches of snow tomorrow. I'll give you 3 to 8 inches. But we're back, and it's good to be here. I feel good. I feel really, really good. Hopefully some more news to come. We'll talk about, obviously, topics I want to hit this year. We'll talk about maybe a little bit about culture. We'll talk a little bit about health and wellness. We'll talk about financial stuff. Obviously, I'm not certified in anything. So this podcast is for entertainment purposes only, but I'm going to talk about it anyways because I want to. And I think for the people here who have some common sense, who do want to listen to this basically trailer park podcast, I'm not in a trailer park, by the way. I'm one of the nicest towns in my state. There is something to learn from this, and there is topics to discuss, and there's topics to stay away from, mostly because it's complicated. It's not worth my time. There's better things to focus on. So we will address those topics in the coming weeks, in the coming months. And I want to thank you guys for listening, watching, and subscribing. You can find me anywhere where podcasts are available. The video versions are available on YouTube and on Rumble. Positive Sarcasm. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And if you want to donate, you can. PositiveSarcasm.com/donate. Any amount's appreciated. Shout out to all my fitness competitors getting ready for the new fitness season. Bodybuilders, female physiques, female figure, men's classic physique, and modern physique. If you guys need posing music, let me know. If you have any other assignments or any other projects that you want me to work on, please go ahead and hit me up either through my website or directly through my email, positivesarcasm@outlook.com. In the meantime, alongside New Hampshire's beautiful seacoast, thank you for listening, watching, and subscribing. And I'll talk to you all next week. Recorded here from the Spare Parts Studio, 2026 version, for entertainment purposes only. We're back. This has been a Positive Sarcasm presentation.